Good morning and welcome veterans, community members, students and staff of both Wahoo Public and Bishop Newman High Schools to the 2024 Veterans Day program. Please stand in silence at this time as the colors are posted.
Please remain standing for the playing of the Star Spangled Banner.
Please be seated. World War I, known as the Great War, officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, outside the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of what was then called the War to End All Wars.
A century ago, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day, now known as Veterans Day, to honor all U.S. veterans with the following words: "To us in solemn pride in the heroism of those who died, in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the Council of the Nations." With these words, we honor our nation's veterans every November and remember the sacrifice they have given for our freedom.
At this time, please welcome Senior Speaker Erica Maldonado on her thoughts of the importance of Veterans Day.
Today we gather to honor the men and women who have have served our country with courage, dedication, and sacrifice. Veterans Day is a time for reflection and recognition. This is not just a holiday, but a reminder of the price of freedom, the commitment to protect our values, and the strength of the human spirit. It is easy to identify a veteran in their uniform, such as when they march in a parade or post the colors at our football games. More often, however, they are quietly and humbly living among us in their civilian clothes, leading ordinary lives. They are our grandma and grandpas, our moms and dads, our brothers and sisters. They are also our coaches and teachers, our policemen and policewomen, the mechanic at the dealership, our nurses, our welders, and our small business owners. Many of these veterans would never know they served unless you ask them. They don't go around telling stories of their service or heroism. It is up to us to ask, and if they are open to telling their story, to listen. How did you come to serve? What was your proudest moment? Do you recall times when you were afraid? What kept you going? What are your strongest memories from your time in the military? What lessons did you learn from this time in your life? Are you still friends with the men and women you served with? Let them share their stories with you, and in doing so, we honor their voices, amplify their experiences, and let them know that we, as a nation, are listening. Remember to thank them for their service and thank them for what they have given us, for we often take it for granted. Veterans have endured and survived challenges most Americans will never know. They preserve our freedom to choose what we will do with the gift of life. Even after service, veterans face challenges. It is our responsibility to ensure they have support, respect, and resources they deserve to thrive after their time in uniform. We owe it to our veterans to ensure they are not forgotten, whether it is through veterans organizations, volunteer work, or simply offering a kind word. Every action matters in helping our veterans feel valued and appreciated. May we never forget the price of this gift. I am reminded of my dad's dear friend from their times in the Air Force. This friend recently retired from the military. His uniform proudly displays some 36 ribbons, 23 medals, and earned over a 30-year active duty career. What you don't see is the time and sacrifice that went into these awards. The long months and years spent away from his wife and children, the soccer game and band performances he could not attend, the birthday parties and Christmas mornings he missed, the restless nights him and his family endured while he was deployed in a combat zone, and the friend who lost his life while serving in the desert. Like all our veterans, we are proud to make these sacrifices for freedom, peace, and democracy are passed down to the next generation. So next time you meet a veteran, don't just thank them for their service, ask them about their service. Keep their stories alive and live in our own lives the values which they were prepared to give theirs. This day is a reminder that our commitment to veterans should not end with a holiday. Let us strive to honor their legacy by working together to create a society where veterans are supported, respected, and always appreciated. Thank you.
During Salute to America's Finest, we invite our service members to stand and be recognized when your service song is played.
invite our Crazy Quilters Club to come forward and present their quilts of valor for the local veterans in our community.
Thank you for inviting us here today. I'm Kathy Klingman, and I represent the Quilts of Valor members and volunteers all over the country. The Quilts of Valor Foundation is a national organization founded in 2003 by the Blue Star Mom, Catherine Roberts. This quilt is an expression of gratitude meant to thank and comfort you with a three-part message from our hearts. First, we honor you for your service in the U.S. military. We honor you for leaving all you hold dear to serve, whether in time of crisis or in time of peace. Next, our quilters know that freedom is not free. The cost of our freedom is the dedication of lives of men and women like you. And this quilt is meant to say thank you for your sacrifice. And finally, this quilt is meant to offer comfort to you and to remind you that although your family and friends cannot always be with you, you are forever in our hearts and thoughts. As we quilt, we talk about our family and friends and how grateful we are to those who will be receiving what we call our quilted hug when we wrap them in quilts of valor. Now, for this quilt, you become part of our quilted family. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation and a grateful nation, with our deepest appreciation, we thank you for your service to our country and with this Quilt of Valor Award. The quilts today were made by the Wahoo Crazy Quilters of Valparaiso. Thank you, ladies.
Today, I have the honor and privilege to announce the names of 12 recipients of Quilts of Valor. As I call your name, if you're able, please come forward to receive this award. Gary Rasmussen. Gary served in the Army Infantry during the Vietnam War. Stationed in Germany. Claudia Beasley. Claudia is a Navy veteran who served as a postal clerk during the end of the Vietnam War. Jimmy Lampert. Jimmy was in the National Guard as unit assisted after the tornado of 1975. various shifts. David Kusel. Dave enlisted in the Navy shortly after high school and served in the Naval Air as an analyst in an electrical warfare squadron. Ray Otto. Ray was in the Navy Air Reserve, VP 76 Squadron, also served in the Philippines, and he was a metalsmith. Leroy Hansen. Leroy was in the Nebraska Guard and was a heavy equipment personnel. William Pagewood. William was in the Army National Guard and did tank training. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, the Wahoo Quilters, and everyone in the room, we want to thank you for your service, and we appreciate you more than you can ever imagine. Thank you.
Hello, today I have the honor of introducing our guest speaker, Colonel Daniel J. Bennett. Colonel Daniel J. Bennett currently serves as the Chief of Staff in the Nebraska Army National Guard. Colonel Bennett is a 31-year veteran of the Nebraska National Guard with deployment in support of Operation Armored Falcon in 2003, Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2005, and Operation New Dawn in 2010. Colonel Bennett's military awards and decorations include the Meritorious Service Medal with 3 Oak Clusters, the Army Commendation Medal with 4 Oak Clusters, the Iraqi Campaign Medal with 4 campaign stars, and numerous other awards. Colonel Bennett resides here in Wahoo with his wife and 2 children and is a graduate of Bishop David High School. Please help me welcome Colonel Daniel J. Bennett.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you guys inviting me to speak here today. So first of all, I would like to say let's give another warm hand to the band. That was phenomenal work. And just so you know, the Nebraska Army National Guard 43rd Army Band is doing an honor band on February 1st. So check it out. I think a lot of you guys will qualify. So congratulations. All right. All right, so I appreciate you inviting me here again today. This is quite an honor for me. I spoke in 2019 here, and it must not have gone too bad because I got invited back, so I appreciate that. I would also like to thank Mr. Clayton Tomjack. I think he was just in charge of the Final Speaker Committee, but I served with Clayton back in Iraq in 2005, 2006, and just like to give him thanks for inviting me to speak. Let's give him a hand. Well, I think he's an awesome science teacher here at the Wahoo Public. One of the things that, why I know that is I know the care that he always gave to the soldiers, and just his approachability, he ensured fairness and did the right thing. So I appreciate you inviting me today, and I'm proud to serve. All right, so last year the guest speaker here was my boss, the Adjutant General of the Nebraska National Guard, Major General Craig Strong. And he was so impressed and touched by just this combined school program and just the community outpouring and support of veterans that he decided to make Wahoo his inaugural city for what he termed a community partnership program. So one of General Strong's selection criteria was how much the community supports veterans, and needless to say, picking Wahoo was a no-brainer. I'd also like to add that we've conducted 3 community partnerships so far, and in my unbiased opinion, since I live here, but it's unbiased, Wahoo's been the best community by far to work with such a rich history of military service, including some ties to the Nebraska National Guard dating back to the 1870s. So one of the things that he noted here, and I'm going to go through some historical things that he kind of talked about with Wahoo, but the Wahoo Warriors and the Wahoo and the Bishop Newman Cavaliers, congratulations, by the way, on all the playoff success. Hopefully next week we'll just shut the lights off in town as we're all heading to so you guys are all making plays right now. But long ago, the Wahoo Rangers were one of the earliest militia units formed after the Civil War as part of the 1870s militia revitalization. Mustered by the governor at the time to help break the Union strike at Omaha's smelting works and deal with potential riots, they eventually were reorganized in 1881 into the Wahoo Foragers. So imagine if that was our football teams and school mascot today, the Foragers and the Rangers. Interesting thing. All right, Camp Sheridan was just 1 mile outside of Wahoo. It was also where soldiers often conducted their annual training from 1888 through 1925. Unfortunately, during that time, soldiers had to provide their own food, and more than 200 men fell ill as a result of improper food preparation and combined with poor sanitation conditions. So we've certainly come a long way since then. In fact, in recent years, Nebraska National Guard coats have won multiple national level culinary awards and food service competitions. The Wahoo Armory was built right here in the community, was also created in 1961 to house the newly created 24th Medical Company. Wahoo was home to the 167th Aviation Company for a few years before that element moved permanently to Lincoln. They also held headquarters for the 1st of the 134th Infantry for a time, and then later on the 195 Armory, before hosting their current tenant, the 623rd Engineer Company. Wahoo citizens have also historically proven to support the U.S. military troops time and time again, starting in 1925, where Wahoo Industry built rifle butts, block houses, and target houses in support of the new Ashland Rifle Range. But probably one of my favorite ways that Wahoo supports veterans are the multiple memorials we have at the front of the courthouse. The USS Wahoo Submarine Memorial and the Saunders County Eternal Flame, which eventually transformed into the Veterans Memorial. If you haven't ever visited, which I'm sure that's no one in this room, or if it's been a while, today would be a great day to stop by and pay some respects. To my fellow veterans in the audience, thank you for your service. Thank you for your patriotism. Thank you for your willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good and for your love for our country. And to the students in the audience here in the choir and band and out there today, your country needs you to serve. All of you will graduate in several years, and what will you do to serve? Less than 1% of Americans today serve in the armed forces, which increases the burden of protecting our freedom placed on those so few who have served. Whether you choose to enlist in the armed forces as Americans, I believe we all have an obligation to serve in some capacity and give back to our country. And I ask all of you to think about what you will do to serve. Will you volunteer in communities, or your churches, or in other organizations? I hope you decide to serve in the armed forces. Whatever you choose to do, our country needs you to serve in some kind of capacity. As Ronald Reagan said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them for them to do the same. Thanks again for the opportunity to speak with you today. And thanks again to my fellow veterans here today and celebrating across the world. Thanks for your service.
As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Donna Kennedy. Please stand at this time and join me in a moment of silence to remember and honor our veterans.
That brings us to the conclusion of our program this morning. Again, thank you to all the veterans for coming today. Our speaker, Colonel Daniel J. Benish, for taking time out of his schedule to share his story with us. And lastly, thank you to everyone from Wahoo Public and Bishop Newman that helped organize and provide such a great program. It's a great opportunity for the community to come together and celebrate our veterans collectively. Veterans in attendance today, before you leave, please come to the front of the auditorium in front of the stage for a picture. Additionally, veterans and families, you are invited to a reception in the high school Family and Consumer Sciences classroom following pictures. We'll have student representatives ready to escort you. At this time, I will begin dismissing all of the students and staff in attendance. Veterans, please come forward. Bishop Newman, students and staff, we will dismiss you first. You can exit to the back or the sides at this time. Middle school, 8th graders, please return to the third period. Finally, Wahoo High School, we're back to third period.